how can your company plan the growing pace? I mean, how can you say, okay, this is the risk we are taking, and this is the market potential we can grab if we grow this fast?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. You know, First Solar has been an extraordinary company in its ability to grow from a very small organization to a world leader in a question of 6 years. If I look back at that growth, I think there are three things that are important to generate in any other organization the same kind of growth. The first one is there has to be the technological opportunity to create something big. We were very lucky to be at the inception of an industry that's rapidly growing. We had the opportunity to bring new technology to that market that gave us the opportunity to grow. That in of itself is not enough, because there are many, many companies trying to do the same thing that we did. So then the question is, why were we successful and the others were not as successful as we were? The second point is that if the culture of the company is that we can do even better than what we think is possible for ourselves, that particular culture is probably the single most important thing that will get an organization to grow the way that we've grown in the past. The third one is to make sure that you really have the capability in place to make it happen. We've grown from 50 people to over 4,000 people in 6 years. We picked the very best we could find for the jobs that we did, because if you don't have the people, the skills, and then this conviction that you can do better than anybody else, it's going to be very difficult to get there.
What about if a new member is joining your company? Which is the TOC learning process that that person usually have? I mean, they have special training, or they are part of a team at the beginning? How do you do it?
When we installed TOC as the corporate culture, we established a training program that everybody goes through. So if you come to the company, you will go through a program called TOC Fundamentals that explains what TOC is, how it functions, what we try to get out of it, and what we expect from people joining the company that they should do to support and build out the TOC capability. After that, depending on where that particular individual will be deployed in the organization, we have specific training programs. So we have training programs in throughput accounting, we have training programs in critical chain project management, we have training programs in the TOC thinking processes. So those are deployed as and when people need them for the jobs they have to do.
What would be your basic recommendations for people that is starting this process?
You know, critical chain really is a departure from traditional project management in a lot of ways that people rarely anticipate or understand before they start. So if you were to embark on something like this, I would strongly recommend that people learn as much as they can about the philosophy, the process, the tools, the methodology, the measurement systems, the business processes that have to go to underpin that particular approach before you do anything. Frequently people read one book, they say, oh, this is a good idea, let's go try it in one corner of the organization, and it very rarely works. Second step is that you do need senior management buy-in for a fairly significant change to what you're trying to achieve with project management. Third one is don't blink, because the changes that go with critical chain frequently requires significant behavior change, requires dealing with a lot of reservations that people may not have in other environments. They do have them in critical chain environments. So the provision of strong support functions is key.
That was it? And now, okay, there's one more. So, many companies have tried different improvement methods during the years, and what are those methods can be fit within TOC, or what can TOC can do to improve those improvement methods? Sorry to say that.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, the one discerning feature of TOC, let me say that again, one discerning feature of TOC is the fact that it deals with large systems. It is not a continuous improvement approach as we traditionally understand it. So it's not Kaizen, it's not Six Sigma, it's not any of the other more functional-based continuous improvement processes. It focuses at the high level. So what TOC would do for an organization is identify those areas where you really would get great leverage from improvement, and then use those self-same tools to apply them to that environment. In fact, there's a very interesting published case study of a very large electronics manufacturing organization, 21 factories that ran some factories TOC, some factories CI, some factories lean. And the best results they had is where they had a combination of all three in one plant. So that's validated proof that if you use TOC as the guiding philosophy and then use the rest of the tools to help you get the results on the ground, you're by far better off than using any of the others in isolation.